My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey, folks, welcome back. Today we've got a very special guest zooming in from Austin, Texas, one of my favorite cities in Texas. Don't tell everybody else in Houston and Dallas, but yeah, Austin is by far way up there. Dr. Tom Burns, and Dr. Tom is a very, very successful real estate syndicator. And what we want to kind of dig into here today is an excuse that holds a lot of us back, which is, you know what, I'd like to get into bigger deals. I'd like to do more, but I'm just so damn busy. So to help us dispel this, Dr. Tom Burns, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks, Dave. Great to be here. And I like your area of the country too.
Well, thank you very much. So, Tom, tell us a little bit, give us a snapshot. We're at the end of 2024 right now. What does your portfolio currently look like? What kind of properties, give or take, how many units, doors, however you measure it? What does it look like at this time?
Sure. It's about 2,600 units probably. It's mostly multifamily, a little bit of build to rent. I've got about 500,000 square feet of industrial and office property, and a few little student properties. So some of that I own just by myself, and some, through our companies.
Okay. And your main focus is on multifamily, correct?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. All right, Tom. So how did you first get that spark about real estate investing? Has it kind of been in the family, or was this something you stumbled across after you
No,
were a doctor? When did this all come to be?
it was a stumble.
Yeah.
No, neither of my parents were entrepreneurial. Dad was a cop. I was just a doctor that decided I probably needed a little extra income. Didn't know it was called passive income. Tried a bunch of stuff, landed on real estate because it moves slow. You can do it with partners, you can do it part-time. And I understood the math. It's just pretty much simple arithmetic. So that's what got me started, and just kind of organically grew from there.
So we're 2024 right now. When did you first get started?
Probably, I got the bug probably in the late 80s while I was still a training doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have two nickels to rub together, so couldn't do anything about it but learn stuff. And that was also before Al Gore invented the internet, so I had to get actual real books. I just learned and talked to people, and probably started buying stuff in the mid 90s.
Very nice. Awesome. All right. So we were talking a little bit off camera that one of the things that you like to show people is, you can get involved in real estate. You can be actively involved in real estate, even as a very, very busy professional. And I don't think anybody would argue with the fact that when you're, practicing very actively as an orthopedic surgeon, you were probably a pretty busy guy. So how do you how do you kind of show people that you can do this and your day job at the same time?
Yeah, I tell them my story. What you decide you want to do is what what you'll prioritize. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I did burn the candle at both ends. I was a young doctor working hard. Good news is I had orthopedic surgeon income. Well, not so much the first 2 years, but after a while I did. So that was a nice plus. I worked evenings and weekends, and as the cash flow slowly grew, I slowly started working a little bit less. So you'll do what's important to you, and I always found time to do that and hang around with my kids and my family. So there's time. We all have 24 hours.
I find some of us are able to waste a lot of that time a lot easier than others, I guess.
Oh, I'm still good at that. So,
Well, that's because you set things up so now you're able to do that. You've got that freedom. That's fantastic. So, Tom, what would you say you and your team do a little bit differently than perhaps some other syndicators in the field? What do you guys focus on? What's your secret sauce?
you know, I I I don't know that we're that much different, to be honest. We try to be good. We of course focus on the investors. All good syndicators and general partners do that. Very conservative. We are long-term holders, which is a little bit different. A lot of people set up a 5-year pro forma, and we're usually refinanced by about 3 or 4 years, and then the intent's to hold it for another 7 to 10 after that. So
That's a refreshing change to hear, Tom, because so many syndicators just seem to be wham bam, thank you, man, I'm on to the next one theoretically, right?
Yeah, and it's more beneficial for the general partner if you sell earlier. But it's also so hard to create cash flow, passive cash flow. And so once you get it created, people they like to clip those coupons, and it kind of minimizes the tax hit. So that's maybe a little different and very conservative. The group I'm working with now, I was actually on the other side of the table vetting them for a family office, and I was pretty shocked at how conservative and investor friendly they were. So that's why I ended up where I am.
Nice. No, I like that philosophy a lot. So what do you find works best? Because I'm sure you've got a ton of LPs that have worked with you, are working with you, have worked with you over the years. What do you find works best to attract the kind of partners that have that same vision versus perhaps some other LPs that are looking for a quicker turnaround kind of a thing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have to be clear on your message. And so again, we are clear on the fact that we're long-term holders. So it's
Mhm.
it's a long-term game. I'll be aged by the time I start making money probably. But you just communicate clearly. That's the best thing. And continue to communicate and be transparent. And then if you do a good job, you'll attract more people. And sometimes you'll attract people that fit so nicely into your routine and your business plan. And sometimes you fit folks that you don't mix with as well. And sometimes you have to sort of sever those relationships gently, or they'll typically sever them themselves. So
Mhm.
you just want to be. It's just like having a good friend. You kind of it's a two-way street.
Yeah, most definitely. So, Tom, coming from the medical profession yourself, do you tend to attract a lot of people who are doctors or other medical professionals as well, or do you kind of have a really broad range of investors?
It's pretty broad. I actually sort of purposely avoided bothering doctors and medical people
Okay.
with my projects early on, probably the first 15 years. And so it's been just probably in the last 10 years that some docs have jumped on board and invested with us, and we've had some good results and some not so good results with some up and down times.
I think everybody's going through a few of those up and down times the
Yep.
last few years. Most definitely. So we got the investor side of things. When it comes to finding new investors, A, do you even need to do that anymore? And B, if so, what do you find works best these days to connect with new investors?
Yeah, you bet. And more is better, I think. And we've
Mhm.
always, we've had the opportunities to have, larger institutional investors and things like that. And my first company, we made the conscious decision not to do that. We enjoyed our investors and we could still raise the capital needed. Uh, there's pluses and minuses to both of those. I think it's just being out there and doing things. I like to go to seminars to be in the audience. Sometimes I'm
Mhm.
speaking at those seminars, but I'm usually got a notepad in my hand for the rest of the seminar. And that's where you meet people. Most of the magic happens at lunch, dinner, and breaks for those things. So it's person to person is great. Virtual has been introduced to us since COVID, and that's nice. It's convenient. It's not as good as being face to
Yeah.
face. Uh,
Yeah.
and the rest, we don't. I'm sure there's probably a place for social media. We're not so great at social media. It's pretty much just, I pretty much do it face to face.
Well, you just take the media out of the thing and you're just social.
Yeah, there you go. Like that.
Well, hey, so if you don't mind me asking, Tom, because a lot of people struggle with that. Like they go to seminars and they go to things, and I know I have as well, and they have a real hard time connecting with other people and breaking the ice and making those kind of important connections. You got any tips for the shy people out there on how to get out there and really connect with people?
Yeah, don't go to the seminars to get investors. Go
Mm.
just, when you're networking, so to speak, enter the room thinking to yourself, what can I give rather than what can I get? Just go in
Mhm.
there and meet people. Dave, where are you from? You're in BC. I love being in British Columbia. Once I traveled there. Tell me about your family, or whatever. What do you like to do? So it's just basic socialism. You get back what you give. So and even ask somebody, how can I be of service to you? I've had a lot of people ask me that. How can I help you with your goals, Tom? You remember those people.
Yeah. That's really well said. And it reminds me, I was just at a conference recently, and it was kind of gross, to be perfectly honest with you, because it was a capital raiser thing, and everybody had their little business cards, and it was just see how many business cards you can give out and collect and all this kind of stuff. And it just seemed so superficial, and it was painful. It was painful.
I've been to those, and I go out of my way not to ask anybody for their information and not to tell them that I have investors. I just
Yeah.
that half the time they won't even know what I do. So just
Yeah,
you know,
you just kind of get the vibe. You see, yeah, it is very, very interesting.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
talk a little bit about the investor side of things, Tom. What do you guys do? What do you find effective these days for finding decent deals?
I still brokers still,
Yeah,
I mean, you work with the brokers, they see infinitely more deals than we do. And if you close with brokers, they start bringing you more and more deals. And
fancy
their
that.
buddies realize, hey, these guys will close. And so,
Yeah.
so you got to look at a lot of deals. You got to kiss a lot of frogs. We underwrote 1,500 deals in 23 and did none.
Wow.
We're probably at 2,500 deals this year, and we've done one deal and we have a contract on another one. So, and that may depend on your specifications and your metrics, but we're pretty conservative. So, it's you just got to be out there. The property management companies can help you. Other investors will help you. Hey, I looked at this deal, it's 250, 300 units. I don't do properties that big. Maybe you guys will be interested, that sort of thing. So,
Right.
the debt guys will bring stuff to you. So just let everybody know what you do and then execute when you find one that fits your parameters, and they'll bring you more deals.
No, that makes a ton of sense. So, Tom, what are the big and exciting plans as we're wrapping up 2024, heading into 2025? Where do you see the new year taking you?
Man, hopefully more deals. It's, not been a whole lot of fun taking down 2.5 properties in 24 months. So
Yeah.
I hope it's taken us to more deals. We are seeing that. We're seeing the distress play out a little bit, and seeing that you can now purchase properties in attractive markets that cash flow right away. That's that's a big thing for us. So that's what I'm looking forward to in the real estate world. And then would also like to, kind of put to bed some of the pains that have developed from the interest rate hikes and COVID, because that certainly affected some of our development projects. So,
Mhm.
it's not all unicorns and fairy dust. We're working. We're still working.
Yeah, it never is it?
No, it's
Never
not.
is all unicorns and fairy dust. Awesome, Tom. Well, I'm sure a lot of people watching this is saying, hey, that seems like a pretty sharp fella. If people want to connect with you, find out more, get on your newsletter list, what should they do? Where should they go?
Yeah, you bet. I put out a newsletter every week. I've got a whole bunch of free assets that people can use. And if you just go to my website at richdoctor.com, you can sign up, you can get the newsletter. It's not very spammy. It only comes once a week, and it's usually got educational stuff in there. So that's an easy way to get a hold of me.
That seems simple enough. Tom, thanks very much for being on the show. It's great to have you.
My pleasure, Dave.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.